It's Showtime. It's the Princess Peach Showtime demo on the Nintendo Switch. This is a demo that I downloaded a couple of months ago, and I never really got around to playing it until somewhat recently. It's Saturday morning, so it seems appropriate that I'd be playing something as um cheerful and breezy as this supposedly is. There was a tiny bit of hype before this game got released because apparently it was supposed to be one of the last. Isn't this supposed to be like one of the last mainline Switch games? Or maybe they thought it was going to be a launch title for the successor to the Nintendo Switch, and unfortunately, the Switch 2 wasn't ready. I guess, or they couldn't get the parts. I don't know. They couldn't make enough of them in time. I don't know. But this sounds like a game that would be a cross-platform title. Although obviously it runs reasonably well on the Switch. But there were a bunch of games that came out in 2023 that you could argue were like, yeah, this is supposed to be the last batch of exclusive Switch titles until the successor comes out. So you get stuff like Super Mario Wonder and Metroid Prime Remastered, which feel like sort of the perfect example of what the Switch 1 could do. Obviously, games like Tears of the Kingdom were going to be games that probably were going to play better on a Switch 2. Like Breath of the Wild was supposed to be a Wii U title, but ultimately they say, you know what, we gotta do the Switch thing. This Wii U's a disaster. Now, of course, in 2024 we got this, and we also got that Mario. What's that? We got that Mario Paint remaster that came out recently. And obviously, people are mad because it runs at half the frame rate of the original GameCube game. Like, why the heck would a GameCube game not run at 4K 60 these days? Well, it depends on how you're doing the code. Without getting too fancy about it, I think Nintendo was probably betting on that game being a launch title for the Switch 2. And they hit a hole in their calendar of releases. Princess Peach Showtime wasn't going to fill that calendar gap, or it could for like a month, but they needed something else. So I guess they decided to release this Mario Paint game early-ish. And look, apparently it's a good game, and apparently they made some compromises so that the game doesn't require any frame perfect nonsense in order to do all the real timey, quick time event stuff that the original Paper Mario was doing. I called it Mario Paint. It's Paper Mario. Pardon me. I did play Paper Mario when it launched. Actually, no, I played the original Nintendo 64 game. And I think this Paper Mario remaster is a remaster of the GameCube sequel, which I would play if I can get it for less than $20. I don't think it's going to be great, but it's one of those RPGs for people who probably weren't really familiar with role-playing games and their rules. So you had your Super Mario RPGs, I think Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga were kind of in the same boat. I never got around to playing those. They're DS games, aren't they? That means I'm never going to be able to play them. I mean, I could buy a DS, but like I can't capture it. So, to me, buying a console I can't capture feels like a waste of money at this point. Like I would have got if I could get my hands on an affordable Game Boy player, I would have got a GameCube by now. Actually, no, I have a Game Boy player at one time, but I sold it with the disc. And a Game Boy player without the disc is worthless unless you're willing to mod your GameCube. And this is not that kind of channel. I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. I mean, heck, I got a Wii U, so there's an argument to be made that I don't even need a Wii, but that was donated to me. But the argument is that if you have a Wii U, you don't need a GameCube because that means the homebrew scene apparently has turned the Game Boy Advance into a playable option on the Wii U. I forget exactly how it worked. The Modern Vintage Gamer YouTube channel has a discussion about that, where apparently once they hacked the Wii U, you get the Wii compatibility out the box. The argument is that apparently the GameCube compatibility is included with it. So if you're able to play GameCube games on a Wii U, that expands the utility of that console immensely. And there's the whole other thing about Yeah, if you're using a homebrewed Wii U, a hacked Wii U means you could like go on the internet store and download your pirate booty and be able to play GameCube games for free, including those redonkulously expensive games that barely even came out in America. I think Gotcha Force was one of those games. Like there were a couple of there were some Capcom games that are really stonking expensive. Like, I think they're like hundreds of dollars for a GameCube game in English. I think that's right. The GameCube is region locked, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're getting it like a European game, I don't think it's going to run on a North American GameCube or a North American Wii. I can double check. Okay, not to boast here, but I'm pretty sure I did a rhythmic gymnast ribbon dancing video game design a decade or so ago. So I guess these guys got the memo too, huh? There was more of a the game I was conceiving of was more of a God of War type game where your heroine had ribbons instead of chains, bloody chains. You know what I mean? But I'm just mentioning that in passing because anyone who's seen rhythmic gymnastics in the Olympics probably wanted to make a video game about a whip wielding ribbon dancer. We good? Give me the loot. And you can float in midair while you whip out the ribbon. But I think the whole point of this, well, hold on, are they doing a Wonder Momo thing? Because that was an arcade game that I think Namco did back in the 80s where you were playing like an idol singer. Yeah, you were playing like an idol singer, like, Hatsune Miku. But you were on stage and you were like trying to not have your show be interrupted, I think. Something like that. I've seen clips of Wonder Momo, but I've never played it, and I don't believe it's ever appeared on it's not on any of the compilation games that I've purchased over the decades. Like, my Namco arcade classics, my Capcom, Taito, Konami arcade classics. Never gotten my hands on a Wonder Momo ROM. So are they taking that vibe of, okay, we're doing a Wonder Momo thing where our heroine is a stage performer, so there's no real danger. It's just a chill and vibe game. Although I think Wonder Momo was supposed to be kind of difficult because it was an arcade game, but because it was supposed to be like synchronized, like it was. My understanding is that it was basically like a It wasn't even a platform. It was just a game where it was like Kung Fu, I guess, where we were kicking and punching people. You were just kind of doing a performance, apparently. Was the game any good? I don't know. I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs. So what is this game? Because I've apparently this is supposed to be like a platformer with the whole vibe of it's a stage play. So it's aggressively 2D like Paper Mario. And again, the art style behind this game is actually pretty good for what it's trying to do. Like it has that Nintendo vibe of, yes, we do retro. We're the Disney of video games, but even when we're doing 2D stuff, it's gonna have a bit more There's gonna have a bit of polish to it. And even Sony, like they can acquire all of the Guerrilla games they want, but at some point, it's not just about technical expertise, which is arguable. That's arguably what Guerrilla Games does best. It's their ability to produce games that look really polished, AAA, polygonal games. This game's polygonal too, I bet, but they're aggressively doing 2D stuff. So again, what are we doing in this game other than just going left to right? It's kind of they're also doing a belt scrolling thing here where you can go into the background. Okay. So can I dance with him? Okay, so I'm not dancing with him. She's got moves though. She's like Ginger Rogers. She does everything that what's his name does backwards and in heels. Was Super Princess Peach any good? I mean, I don't have a. That was a DS game, I think. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I think they should just remaster all the DS games. Like all the old games should just be in HD now. I'm not opposed to that as long as they actually improve them. Like in the case of Metroid Prime Remaster, they took one of the best GameCube. They took one of the best 3D games of the early 2000s. Said, yes, let's give it a more manageable, a more elegant, control scheme, and let's make it in 1080p, 60 frames a second. So it's the game. Well, the GameCube game ran at 60 frames a second too, unlike the turn-based RPG Paper Mario remaster. But yeah, it's like, look, we're gonna make this. They made Metroid Prime the game I always wanted it to be, which is a game that didn't require clunky controls. Like it just plays way better on a dual analog with dual analog sticks. It never played well on the Wii. Remember, I bought that game and I played it on this channel. It's a terrible way to play that game. Now, maybe it plays better if you have like some modified. I don't know. There's an argument to be made that maybe I had like a crappy Wiimote, but I've never had a problem using that Wiimote for any other games. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Metroid Prime is uniquely requires a perfectly calibrated first party controller. That's not the problem with that game. It's just clumsy. It's clumsy in ways I don't want to have to deal with when I can just play, a Wii game that doesn't require all that nonsense. I am not left-handed. Some Charlotte from Samurai Showdown. I mean, I could be Jean from World Heroes, but I don't have the big honking sword. This is a foil, right? A cutlass? Yeah, I'm Gina Davis from Cutthroat Island. Do I need to see that? No, I don't. Okay, okay. I was doing a Mad Max post-apocalyptic thing recently where I was playing like Trojan and Avengers, the old Capcom Avengers game. There was one other game I was playing recently. I couldn't get my hands on the Mad Max NES game, obviously. And I didn't want to pull out my PC to play the Mad Max PC game, though that would have been appropriate. And I watched Fist of the North. I watched the Fist of the North Star anime, which we won't be talking about during this video. But needless to say, it's trash. It's slightly better than I thought it was going to be when I first saw the trailer for it back in the mid 1990s, but it's still trash. Like, it makes it Furiosa kind of establishes that you can have this brutal post-apocalyptic future without the super gratuitous splatter gore, which I said we're not going to talk about during this video. Mommy, what's super gratuitous splatter gore? Well, it's the opposite of what this game is doing. You're using a fake sword, and the enemies just kind of get knocked out and fade away. And Fist of the North Star is the opposite of that. Yeah, like, I think, obviously, now in the 2010s and the 2020s, we're going to see more games like this. But back in the 80s and 90s, over in Japan, they made a lot of mascot games with female heroes. But obviously, some of them were weird, and inappropriate. Some of them were weird and inappropriate, but some of them were actually decent. Here in the States, we didn't get that many. I remember I had an NES. Uh, I want to say back in the United States, there were a couple of Sega Master System games. I want to say that had female protagonists, and they were gender swapped for the United States because I guess the marketing concern is that boys didn't want to play video games with female protagonists in them. And then when Natsume started doing its NES games back in 1990, we got Shadow the Ninja, which had a male and a female hero, but they both played the same. Uh, there's a video game called SCAT. It's G-rated. It's an acronym. What was it called? Super Cybernetic Attack Team. Okay, now I gotta get through a block. So do I have to do that and get him from behind? I'm just whacking on the attack button here. It's like B tier Bayonetta, which we won't talk about during this video either. They did make a T-rated Bayonetta game, right? Bayonetta Origins was T-rated, right? Which I did play on this channel. I probably haven't put anything up on it yet. I think they were trying to do like a Brothers thing where it's like you were controlling two characters at once. So I pressed the A button to do a jump, and I think it was perfectly timed. So what was that about? Is it by doing countering? Okay, so I missed one of the stars, so I guess I have to be a completionist for this demo, I guess. I mean, I guess this game runs at 60. It feels like it's running in the 40s. Like, it doesn't feel like it's running at a solid 30. Do I press up? Yeah, press up and the attack button. Da-da-da-da-da. Charge. But yeah, those two Natsume games had female protagonists in them. And again, I think in the case of Scat, they had a Sigourney Weaver XP and Arnold Schwarzenegger XP, which makes sense. Okay, why am I doing this? I'm not getting any scores here. Let's just keep going. There's no double jumping. Can I do a launcher? I can hold up and press attack for the launcher. Can I do it in midair? No. But do I get a float jump? Yeah, if I do the attack, I get a float jump. But I can only swing my sword once in midair, apparently. Can I do a Street Fighter 2 thing where I get two attacks? Where I attack the instant I land? Not sure. I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I don't think I ever have to worry about that. Yeah, but on the NES, I've been meaning to get back to that because I owned a couple of games like Shadow the Ninja had a female protagonist. Hoops on the basketball game that Jalico released. ICOM actually programmed that one. The Vice Project Doom Amagon company did that one. That was I think they did Racket Attack as well. But that Hoops had two female protagonists, and to my knowledge, it's one of only 3 NES games that had black female protagonists. Hoops being one because you were playing as legs. What was the other one? Defenders of Dynatron City. Miss Megawatt was a black protagonist, and I forget what the third game was. It was probably a licensed game. Now Hoops was interesting because it was a basketball game, so that sort of makes sense. Baseball Stars might let you play as a female team. I don't know if there are any black baseball players in that game. Dusty Diamond softball game. Hold on. I can't press up. I can't do the launcher because I'm in a belt scrolling area. So I can move into the foreground, but I can't do a launcher. Okay, that was my counter. I can't attack it. I can't attack Audrey 3 here. Okay, so I guess I did something. Yeah, but I want to say if there were any other black female protagonists in NES games, they'd probably be in sports games or in licensed games. Not in Captain Planet. Okay, thanks. But no, not in Captain Planet. Again, it would have to be licensed games. I don't know what happened there. I guess it just requires a quick time. Okay, I was supposed to do a jump there. How do I know I'm doing damage? It feels like I'm not doing much damage. Yes, I understand that. Ah, he got me. So I am doing damage when he smacks the ground and gets stuck in it. Yeah, like I'm thinking like sports games, basketball games. Yeah, sports games, licensed games. And Hoops would count because it was a basketball game, obviously. It was a blacktop game, so that also kind of makes sense. Yeah, Miss Megawatt was a licensed game, so one of the characters was black. Yeah, I'm supposed to jump over that. Again, I don't know if I'm doing that much damage because there's no life meter, which would be nice to have. I understand that, but the game is not making clear if I'm doing damage. Jump. So wait till he drops. Jump. There you go. Oh, so that's what I needed. Okay. So I needed to press the jump button just before the ring reached me. Then I get the super jump, and I land on top of it, and I can do the special attacks. So that's what I needed to be able to do. Here we go. So knock out the big vine, and that's when the root. You knock out the big vines right here. Ah, got me. So now he's gonna try and attack me, so I can jump over the wave. And I can hit him with the combo. There you go. Okay, fine. But again, it's a modern game. They have to make that stuff clear, not just for the kids. Because there's no life meter. It's not always obvious when you can actually attack. Like I don't think the game ever stated that you have to press the jump button to counter an attack to get that bullet time super attack, and I missed one of those stars. I got a dress ribbon. Hooray. So they could be doing Mario has like different outfits, like the frog suit and the Tanuki suit. I can understand Princess Peach doing something like that. That might have been the demo. But I remember Patrick Klepek was over at Waypoint, over at Remap Radio was talking about. Yeah, there was a bit of hype in his household because he's a gamer dad. He's a gamer dad. And I think his wife wanted to play it too, but turned out the game apparently is not that good. Like, this seems fine. This feels like a rental, but they're charging $60. I think it's like $50 for this game, maybe 60. And no, this is not that kind of game. This is a $20 game that has that Nintendo tax and the first party tax. And I'm not saying this game probably didn't sell a million copies. I would not be shocked if it only sold if it sold like 100,000 copies, I would not be surprised. If you told me it sold 500,000, I wouldn't be surprised. But if you told me this game did Animal Crossing numbers, I would be shocked. Although, I mean, Animal Crossing is an even more known quality than this game is. But like I said, I'm still kind of flummoxed that Animal Crossing sold 10 million copies, maybe more. Like, I'm not surprised when games like Mario Kart sell well. But in the back of my mind, I never thought that Animal Crossing would be the best-selling game on these platforms. I'm curious how it performed on previous platforms. But in a way, like those Animal Crossings kind of prove that it's. I know it's a 4-year-old game by now. There will always be a massive segment of the consumer base that does not care about 4K. They don't care about ray tracing. They don't care about anisotropic filtering and all that crap. They want when the lockdowns happened 4 years ago, Animal Crossing dropped with perfect timing. It's the Demon Slayer Mugen Train of its time, I guess. But even then, it was bound to blow up because part of the reason why people bought a Switch was to play games like Animal Crossing. I think it's Stardew Valley sold 1 million copies on the Switch, and I think the physical version is actually more expensive than the digital version, which is like regularly in the $10-15 range. I got a heart charm for a reason. Does it make the game easier? Probably makes the game easier. So it's an easy mode in a game that's probably stupid easy. Was Christine in the Speaking of black protagonist, was Christine in the Barbie game on the NES? She's not playable. I have to unlock her. Shame, really. So are we done? Let me take that. Let me keep this. See what it does, because the game doesn't explain anything. I understand it won't open. I'm stuck. I'm in an existential prison. Yeah. What's her name from? I'm from Frozen. I'm Elsa from Frozen. Take the stage. So yeah, this thing seems perfectly reasonable, but it's a demo. It doesn't have to be good. Does it make me want to play the game? Of course not, which is the reason why most games don't get demos these days. Because the idea is that if you play the demo, you won't want to play the finished product. But I mean, in a game like Princess Peach Showtime, the demo is made for people who want to know that Princess Peach is in her own video game, and this probably seems perfectly doable. I'll double check later, see what the best-selling Switch games are. But obviously, you have your Tales of the Kingdom, your Breath of the Wild, that sold probably like 10 million copies. Animal Crossing sold more than that. Mario Kart 8 probably sold 10 million. Mario Odyssey probably sold 5 or 6 million. Mario Odyssey might be okay, but I rented that. Again, my problem with the Mario games isn't that they're bad. It's that they're stupid overpriced for what they are, which is perfectly reasonable, platformers. Mario Wonder seems good, but I'm not paying $60 for that crap. The Nintendo tax is real. Inflation sucks. So it's like I got a hat, the Hat in Time cartridge that I bought a while. I need to play that. I need to play more of that because when I played it, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Yeah, well, it's whip these guys into shape, which again might not seem appropriate, but yeah, we're gonna break out our whip and make these guys feel better. Not the kind of content I expected from a Nintendo game with Princess Peach. So my ribbon makes people happy. It's like Wonder Woman. Yeah, we're doing a Wonder Woman thing now. Is that what we're doing? My magic lasso makes men happy. Uh, when you grow up, read your Wonder Woman history. It's deep. But that's not appropriate for this discussion. That's not appropriate for this video. What are we doing here? Can't nobody hold me down. So we're going to the farm. I'm probably going the wrong way, but whatever. Like the idea of this like stage where you can like go through different doors to find different paths through the performance might be interesting if that's actually what they're doing here. But I don't get that vibe, and there's no instruction manual, and there's no documentation that explains how any of this works. Like going into these doors probably feels like going down a pipe in a Mario game. Okay, got that fruit. Princess Peach brings the fruit. So just so we're clear, there's Princess Peach from the Mario games, from the Super Mario games. There's Pauline from the Donkey Kong games, and probably from Mario, the original Mario Brothers, I forget. There's Daisy from Super Mario Land and the Game Boy titles. You know what? When are we gonna get a Super Princess Daisy game? I would play that. Like, she has way more personality than Mario does. When are we getting our Super Princess Daisy movie, by the way? Speaking of black female protagonists, are we gonna bring Princess Daisy to the cookout? Are we claiming Princess Daisy? Daisy. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't kick her out of the cookout. Let me get that. Hold on, I was trying to get the strawberries up there. Yeah, well, this feels breezy. Probably rated E. Not E10. Like I think Mario Odyssey was rated E10. No, I think it was rated E7. I want to say Super. She's a cooking mama now. She's literally strawberry shortcake. Or so she's not strawberry shortcake. She's peach cobbler. Yeah, Super Princess Peach Cobbler. There were some strawberry shortcake games on the Game Boy Color, if I'm not mistaken. Look, your boy grew up watching some Rainbow Bright once in a while, but I was not as dumb as this sounds. I never made time for a Strawberry shortcake. I don't know what to tell you. I think the 2000 the early 2000 Flash animated series got a run on CBS Saturday Morning actually. Strawberry, berry, peach cobbler, cobbler. Okay, did I do that wrong? Mash on the B button. I'm mashing. I'm mashing. I'm going to stop. I stopped. Okay. Combo breaker. No. Cobbler maker. Well, it's not press X not to die. It's press B to beat. Press B to beat these eggs. Basically. Press B for batter. Stomach gets fatter. Everyone's looking for the batter. Yeah, it's cooking mama. This might be an odd take. I think that Surprise LOL Born to Travel game is better than this. I think they should have just done an Overcooked. I think they should have just made an Overcooked level. The animation's very good though. Like I do like the visuals here. Does it matter what card I put them on? I'm just mashing on the X button and then letting go when the souffle rises, I guess. Like, it doesn't feel like there's a more optimal way to do this. Le poisson, le poisson. How I love le poisson. Like to cut, love to hack. Was it love to hack and cut little fish? Anyway. Can I stuff them with bread? It don't hurt, because you're dead. And you're certainly lucky. Wow. What did I miss? I don't know what I did wrong exactly. Give me the loot. Yeah, don't run away. I'm busy here. I'm supposed to fill up that meter, aren't I? Hurry up. Give me the loot. Again, it feels like I'm letting go of the attack. It feels like I'm letting go of the attack button as soon as the souffle rises. Is that the point? Or is there a better way to do this? Like, you couldn't make a game like this on the NES, I don't think. This feels like a mini game collection. Yes, but the idea of making a platformer with this isn't even a platformer really. Like you can't fall off the stage. So it feels more like a side scroller that's not a platformer. I guess I need to make it bigger. Running out of time. So I guess the bigger it gets before it pops, the more points I get. Give me the loot. Give me the loot cakes. I don't know what I need here. Ow! I don't know what I need here. So I'm failing, and the game isn't making clear why, which is bad for a demo. So again, I don't know what determines the size of the stuff I'm making. I'm just mashing on the X button. Can I hold the button down? Shortbread, I guess. Mama's little princess loves shortening bread. There you go. That's what you want. Give me the fat stacks. Yeah, that's how princess do. Making them fat stacks. Making that batter stack. That's what I want. I want it to pop. I want it to get hot enough. I want it to get fat enough to like nearly pop, but not completely pop. There we go. It's like muffin tops, really. I don't think it doesn't feel like I'm doing this right, even though it doesn't feel like I'm failing. Again, I'm kind of surprised this game actually had a. I'm kind of surprised this game actually had a fail state of any kind. So there you go. Give me them rainbow cakes. So I did something right, didn't I? It looks like I did something right. Yeah, that looks like I did something right. So I stacked enough good. I stacked enough baked goods to get my meter up above the. I don't know. I filled a meter. I don't know exactly what I did. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I did, but again, as a series of mini games, this could have been fine. But the idea of combining it with platforming seems that's a better combo, I think. But the mini games have to be fun. You know what I mean? It can't just be like busy work. Because there like when Animal Crossing came out, when I played Animal Crossing, my main complaint is that it's like one of those Fisher Price activity sets where it's like you bop it, you spin it, you like it. It has a noise maker and a wheel spinner, and it felt like that. It didn't feel like I was doing. The progression was too slow. The activities weren't that compelling. The rewards for completing the activities weren't compelling. It just felt like an activity set. Okay, what am I doing? So we're just decorating. So we just hold down the attack button? Yeah, hold down the attack button. I'm pretty sure I can draw some very inappropriate things right now, but I won't. Whoops. So am I supposed to get like every square inch? I'm the sugar plum princess peach. Is that what we're doing here? Decoration's complete? No, it's not. Hold X. Press X. Press B to decorate the cake for your finished hold A. Oh, okay, I'm done. Looks good to me. Count the calories on this bad boy. In a way, it's like why even bother having the fruit if everything else is just drowning in if it's just drowning in sugar. Yeah, can I do a Fibonacci swirl? Crap. Yeah, give me that loot. I'm just gonna put sugar on every square inch, like a real American. And we'll have the conversation some other time about how to make female protagonists without turning them into like princesses and royalty and whatever. Here we go. Good enough, I guess. Looks fine to me. Give me the loot. Like I said, I have to fill up that meter above my head. I don't know to what end. I don't know. Because it's not spinning. So you can't see the lemons. Is that good? So I guess the idea is to make perfect circles and squares. So many calories. You just spread that crap over everything. Yeah, I don't care. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a picture on the top right corner I'm supposed to be following. I wasn't paying attention to the picture because the game never made clear that's what I was supposed to be doing. Yeah, the game never made clear that's what I was supposed to be doing. Nope. Womp womp. I don't think I did particularly well, but they'll give me a star anyway. So I was supposed to be paying attention to the picture, and the game never said, "Oh yeah, make it look like this." Yeah, some kid's game this is. Yeah. Maybe we need to start teaching kids to like make foods that have smaller portions. You know what I mean? Like, don't buy an entire cake. Like, make like a yeah, like right now. Don't make like a whole tub of ice cream. Just make some yogurt and mix some fruit with the yogurt. You know what I mean? Mango yogurt tastes amazing. Like canned mangoes with yogurt, like canned mango with a light syrup has way less sugar than ice cream does. And if you have unsweetened plain yogurt with it, I'm gonna eat that as soon as I'm done with this video again. Because it's that time of year. People buy ice cream or you can buy yogurt, which is healthier. It's got way less. I mean, if you buy the plain yogurt, it's healthier. If you're buying that fancy sweetened yogurt, you're basically just drinking a candy bar. But yeah, like instead of making like milkshakes, you can make frozen yogurt shakes, I guess. Although I think in my case, I'd be using powdered milk with some yogurt and a little extra water. But you don't really need that much water if you're using fruit. But you're really not supposed to be drink. The problem with milkshakes is that it's hard to do portion control. You know what I mean? So that was the demo, I guess. And Ninja Princess. I mean, I would play a Ninja Princess game. I mean, wasn't there a Ninja Princess game recently? Like Kunoichi Princess, something like that. I don't remember. I want to say it's a trope. Yeah, a shooter. I mean, again, I like the idea of having like this game be like a parade of like mini games and like, but that's the problem. You could argue this game is just like a bunch of like mobile games. That's the end of the demo. Am I going to the eShop? Heck no, I'm not buying this. Now, am I willing to rent it from the library, play it for 3 hours, and never touch it ever again? Sure. But that's the problem with games like this. They're stupid over. Like I mean, if you're a kid and you want this, like if I were this age, like if I were 8 years old, I wouldn't ask for a game like this. But I I were to ask for a game that's this expensive but this kind of meh, my parents would dutifully pick it up because obviously, it's this is a family-friendly game. This game looks charming. Oh, it's got a female protagonist in it. That's probably a bonus. So it's like you can see a parent wanting to buy this for their kid. Get out of here with this. Yeah, skip the cutscene. I already saw this pre-rendered video. So this demo is probably like a gig and a half. Let me confirm that. 'Cause I'm going to delete some of this. It's under storage. I got a bunch of demos I need to delete, but this is the perfect sort of early morning video game, obviously. On a Saturday morning there are worse choices, but if I'm gonna get something out of my system, this feels like here we go. Am I running out of space? Yeah, looks like it. Manage software. I do have some games on my SD card. All right, so yeah, that's on the SD card, which is fine. Do I dare play Skyrim again? Obviously not now. I may be in too deep. I need to play Pitman 4 at some point. So where's this is not in the order I expected. So the Sunbreak demo is yeah, because I'm running out of memory. Okay, so I have to start getting rid of some of this stuff. I do want to play the Saga Emerald demo, so we'll get to that. How big is that Princess Peach demo? It's much smaller than I expected. That's a free-to-play game. Requires an internet connection. Yeah, I have to start getting rid of some of these. I've been meaning to make videos of some of these because I have PlayStation versions. I have PlayStation 4 versions of these demos, so I probably shouldn't even be keeping them on here. You thought it was a demo, but it was me, Diofield. Delete that. So we'll make some room in our card because we're running out of space. So how big was it? We're going to end the video pretty soon. I was just curious how big this demo was. I got to close it. Excuse me. I thought it was at least a couple of gigabytes. Imagine a demo for this game being like half the size of a DVD. It's kind of absurd. Square Enix apparently is the one company that's really good about providing demos for a lot of their games. So all these RPGs I'm supposed to be playing, I got demos for them. USB keyboard. Yeah, yeah. Imagine using a keyboard. Actually, I can hook one up right now, but imagine. Well, I do have a couple of games I think where I could type in, text for like an RPG. Yes, storage. Where's my storage? So I recorded this with my free out space by archiving. Yeah, this might be fine. Might compress it a little bit. So I recorded this with my Plantronics USB-A headset. The mounted Nintendo Switch is outputting in 720p to my Vanco video capture card. It's got a HDMI pass-through. So the input latency is a bit lower than it would be the input latency is a bit lower. Like this screen scrolling right here, it's faster on my TV. Maybe it's a smaller demo there it is. It's a smaller demo than I thought. Yeah, I need to be playing more of these demos. But again, like, I only need like one or two cartridges. Like I'm keeping Skyrim obviously because it's a massive game. I think I might have downloaded it. I think I might have downloaded a patch. It might be time for me to get a larger micro SD card. We'll figure that out later. This card's actually pretty big. So some of these demos I better not. Yeah, because I set the table by playing them on the PlayStation 4, but it's also that time of year where I should be playing the PlayStation 4 because it's too hot to run that thing in the middle of the day. I bought this game. I have it on disc. But yeah, Brigandine is definitely. In fact, I could probably just kind of keep it around to practice playing with it. But yeah, Brigandine is a game that it's the last full price game I purchased because I had a bunch of store credit, so I can get rid of some of this. I can probably delete Saints Row for a while. Although that and Skyrim are the best. That and Skyrim are the best open world games on this platform. The Saints Row 4 is like $10 on the. It's one of the cheapest Switch games out there actually, as far as like physical cartridges. I need to play Factorio. So I will do a video on Factorio because I did a couple of videos with Catan. I might end up getting around to that. Yeah, I have to definitely play the Mega Baseball demo. Got a couple of baseball games I want to say. I have Monopoly. I own Monopoly. I got the disc. I got the cartridge right here. Hasbro Game Night for the Nintendo Switch. So I guess we'll play Monopoly and all that other crap later. But yeah, shame about Princess Peach. I'm not surprised, but it's kind of a shame. So there are demos and actual games I should probably delete at some point. So we'll get around to that later. So Super Princess Peach Showtime is whatever. It's not that big of a demo, but in half an hour you'll see more than you'll ever want to see of that game, I think. But your kids will probably keep this game away from your kids because they'll make you spend $60 on it, and that's what would you get instead? That's a good question. But I should probably play more of Hat in Time because I need to think about selling that game. Because I did like it, but I don't want to keep it. But the price of the game's kind of gotten kind of jacked up recently. It's way more expensive than I thought.